Fatty Patty Scrapper. I'm back. Okay. So, I'm going to give you a little update on the last couple pages we were doing. Okay, so I believe we did this one, and for here, I had some extra sheets that I got with Tammy's order, and you know, I requested them too because I really wanted some extra sheets. And so basically what I did is I just cut it right here, and then I of course distress inked the edges with my favorite Tim Holtz walnut stain, and then I went around here with stickles, and I believe this was not the diamond one. This one was, no, this, yeah, I think this was diamond. You know, I don't even remember anymore. I'm sorry. I feel bad. Anyway, so then we moved on to this page, and what I did here was, again, I inked around the edges. I used my 1.5 inch scallop punch. Boy, I can't talk today. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna turn this around so y'all can see it a little bit better too. Okay, so I added a magnet inside here, one of the basic grade magnets. I used a smaller one here, and then a larger one here. And then this is Scor-tape down, my little box here. And I still haven't gone up to Hobby Lobby yet to get my string because I haven't exactly decided what I'm going to do. I may add, I don't have this down all the way. I have it down from about here down, and I'll tell you why in about 2 seconds. You might have seen it when I put it down earlier, but I wanted this tag to tuck behind it. Then I just used one of my buttons from my stash, and actually these buttons were from my friend Mallory, who is from the mini album Swaps and More, and now she's joined the craft hole too, so I'm excited that she's joined that group also. And so she sent me like a ton of awesome buttons on one of our swaps, so I'm like totally using these and I love it. And I don't know if you can really see, but it kind of has, I know it's gonna be really hard. I don't know if you can see with the glare, but it has like a little tiny, looks like kind of like a snowflake design in there. So I was excited to use that. I did try to, and I used a hot glue gun to put this down. I used some black twine, but I did try to add my other little snowflake here, and it just fell off, and I was kind of bummed out about that. On the back side of this, I traced this around some just regular, some of my like extra cardstock, you know, like, you know, just extra little piece or whatever. Then I distress inked it, and then I used my Scor-tape on top of that. And later on, I'm going to do a lot more embellishing, but I did have this ribbon that I've had for like ever. It's actually almost out. I know this is from Hobby Lobby because years ago I didn't really shop at Michael's. For a while they got rid of all the Michael's that were down here, and so we had just Hobby Lobby and Joann's and Hancock's. And then this is from Michael's. This was on clearance for 99 cents. Or maybe it's always 99 cents. I really don't know, but I could have sworn it was on clearance. Or no, I'm sorry, it was on clearance for like 50 cents. I don't know why they were getting rid of it when it's so close to Christmas. But I thought that'd be really cute on top of there too, just to add a little bit more bling. Excuse me. Then I took one of my, I think it was like a number 8 Tim Holtz Ranger tag, and I basically used the same measurements as I would have for that. And then I kind of like lined them up together and then made these little snips on the end. I did go to Michael's because I was looking for something else, and then I was like, oh, you know, I ended up getting some of these little doodads. these little white eyelets. And I'm almost liking these better than We Are Memory Keepers. For some odd reason, I could never get the We Are Memory Keepers down all the way. I have no idea why that is. Okay, so here, I did use the Diamond Stickles, but on top of that, I used my Sour Green Apple by Martha Stewart embossing glitter. I think it's just glitter. I don't even think it's embossing glitter. And I put that on top, and then of course I taped this little tag down. This is from the paper. This is from the 6x6, and then this is from the small tags from the 8x8. Then I took my Scor-tape, and thank you, Saw, for giving me this idea. I love this stuff, Saw. Girl, this stuff's good. Okay, so I took the Scor-tape and I went around the edges, and then I just used a little white eyelet here, and then it slides on in. So I think it's super duper cute. If there was one thing I would have done over again, and maybe you all have that ability, is I would have made another flap to go over this and like tuck in here, so that when you're putting the page, like if it accidentally goes upside down, it's not going to slide out. So I'm going to have to figure out something in the meantime, and I guess I'm kind of glad that I didn't seal this all the way. So I might go back in there and fix that up. I probably will, actually, now that I'm saying that. So, but for now, I'm going to tuck this in here and I'm going to move on. So then I started off with, so now we have our inside. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This should be page 6. And it coordinates with this. See what I'm saying? It just like slid out there. What a bummer. Okay, so I will have to definitely fix that up. I'm just wondering if once I add in the little ribbon, that it might help that out, and I won't have to do it, but in the meantime, I probably will. Okay, so on this one, again, we have the little tab side facing to the right. And I'm gonna go ahead and move this over here. So I came in here with my 8x8 pad, and I took the whole entire snowflake paper and I distress inked it and laid it down. Then I found this one, which is the green, dark green and light green striped, and then there is sort of a medallion in there, but you really can't see it. So I went ahead and I cut that about, I'm thinking it was 5 inches. Let me just double check here. Yep, 5 inches. So this is 8 by 5, of course, because you don't really have to cut. All I did was ink the edges again. And then I decided that I wanted to put these little tags here. So I basically made the measurements. I divided this in half. So I went from 4 inches and then divided 4 inches divided by 2. So I get, 2 inches, and then I went to the center there with my little scallop punch. Then on these tags, this is from the 6x6 paper pad. I just cut these in half, and again, I just kind of did the same thing where I fussy cut these right here to make them look like the Ranger tags. I did trim these down, so they're really 5 3/4, because before it was like it was like up here, and I didn't like that. So, but the next thing I did was, again, I took a strip from that 12 by 12 cardstock, and this one says "'Twas the night before Christmas" went all through the house. Then I took some of my leftover red cardstock, and really it didn't matter what size it was, just as long as that when you cover it up, that you don't see this down here. You know what I'm saying, where you don't see the snowflakes down here. So this is plenty big enough. So this strip is 2 1/4 inches, so that should be fine. I went ahead and distress inked around that. Again, I did another strip of the paper, and the reason why I did this was because there really wasn't a whole lot of sticker strips. I did even earlier, which I already lost one of the stars. I need to get some. What is going on here? Sorry, this is making me crazy. I'm gonna have to add another tag. Okay, so here, I went ahead and I had these like old little stars. This was from Jolie's. And like I said, these are like forever old, like 10 years old. And so I just kind of glue gunned it on here, but one of them already fell off, so now I gotta replace it. But I kind of thought, you know, that even made the page look better. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to bounce around, but I used the actual sticker here, is what I was getting at. And there's only 2 of them, so I was kind of like trying to make my own now. So, and again, I just basically went by the strips or whatever, you know, the size of the strips, and cut it at the edge. And then distress inked it. I'm sorry guys if I sound like I'm just blah 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 blabbering too much, but so then I just tuck these back in here. Page 2, I know, shame on me, I got ahead of myself. So let me show you how I did this one. This is my original cardstock that I was using, my sandstone or Madero Beach, and I basically cut this from, it's 6 1/4 by 6 1/4, but it really isn't. Add a 1/2 inch to that 6 1/4, and you're gonna come up with about, let me see, 6 3/4. Okay, and then I scored it, and then I took my bone folder, folded it over so that I can get my little, you know, fold there. I took my Scor-tape and did like 3 little strips of the 1/8 inch on the inside of this piece, and then I went ahead and measured it out where it would be centered, and basically I came up with 1 1/8 inch apart from the edges. So as long as you're 1 1/8 inch apart from the edges, it's now centered. Then I took some of the Snowflake 6x6, and all I did was ink it and put my Scor-tape paper and put it down. Here I used 2 big magnets this time because I want it to be super secure. Not that the little magnets aren't super secure too. I mean, they are. It's just I wasn't worried about a bump being in the page because these were large pieces of paper. So then I basically put the negative and then I put a positive right on top of it, and then I took the tape off the back of both ends here, and then I just kind of, you know, flipped it over, and then I rubbed it down, and then so now I have my other one hidden under here. Then I took, this is the 8x8 paper pad again, and I made a hole in the center of this piece of paper. Well, actually, I'm going to tell you the truth. I really centered it from here, and I drew a line in light pencil, you know, approximately where I wanted it to go. And then I used my We Are Memory Keepers hole puncher, punched a hole, and these tags already have holes in them. Let me see if I can show you this one. This one, little sugar plum one, has a hole in it already, so that was nice. And then I just used one of my, I think these are Recollections, maybe, or Spare Parts. I'm not really sure, but this kind of has like that Christmas green, you know, lime color to it. And I'm going to show you a close-up of that so you can see. And then I just kind of attached it to this piece of paper. Then I flipped it over, and I went ahead and Scor-taped it on all my edges, especially in here. And then I laid it down. Now I have my last piece of my 6x6 paper, and this time I chose the Merry Christmas, whatever stocking paper, you know, the word one, and staying with the red theme. I'm going to go ahead and lay this one down. And I did ink the edges already, so it's already ready to go. And lay that down, make sure all my corners are in. And then I'm going to center this just like, well, no, not just like so. Hold on. Let me see. Sorry, my eyes are kind of playing tricks on me. Let me stand up and do this. Okay, lay it down. And then just go around the, because your magnet's there, so just go around it. You don't want to rub too hard, or it's going to show up. And then, bada bing, bada boom. That's it. It's ready to go. So now you have like a little swing tab, and it's extra secure because of the magnet. You can even go as far as to putting a magnet under here, but my problem was that I did this magnet too close to here, and so they were trying to fight with each other, and so I was like, oh well, never mind. That kind of ruined that theory. But next time, maybe I would, since it's such a thin little book, I would do it a little bit differently. I would probably put the magnet up here instead, and so that I would have enough to do a magnet here so that it won't constantly, like, you know, be flimsy. Here, I made this, I forgot to mention, I don't know why I felt like I already did this in a video, but I guess I didn't. When I put these, I put another piece of paper of the white cardstock, and I cut it exactly the same measurements as this top piece. So it should have been 6 1/4 by 6 1/4. If you try to, no, I'm sorry. This one was the original paper. Okay, this one right here. Then I cut another piece of the Madero 6 1/4 by 6 1/4, and I laid it on top, and I put tape here, here, and here, so that I would have a pocket. And I'm going to come back later, and I'm going to make a mat for this. Also, I will, like I said, come back in with some more embellishments and stuff. I really kind of need to go and pick up some laces and stuff like that. I'm not wanting to do too much of this stuff. Like, I love this, okay? But to me, this looks more modern, and this is really vintagey. This right here, see, I'm telling you, that was a big boo-boo for me to do that. I will definitely have to make a little top for this so that it will stay in there. This right here reminds me of, I don't know, if you're from the 70s, you know what I'm talking about. You know, they had the grass that was by the pools at like the Hojos and Holiday Inns and stuff. There was like that pool carpet, and this reminds me of that. So this kind of stays in the vintage theme. These little things, I wouldn't say it's too, you know, vintagey, but you know, it didn't go off too bad. I can always cover it up if I don't like it, or just pull it off. I mean, if I'm adding something on top, if I make a little rip, it won't matter because I'll just be covering it back up. But I really liked that. So now I will add in the ribbons later. I was thinking about, and I would like to get your opinion, so I'm going to post this video tonight, and if anybody can give me their opinion on if they think that's too crazy. Like, I'm thinking maybe it is, because we already have polka dots and stripes, and then to add, and then the snowflakes, and then to add this in, this might be a little too crazy. I do have some thinner red ribbon like this. I could buy solid. I have the white. I could buy a dark green. I just haven't really decided on that. I could use seam binding ribbon, but so far throughout this album I haven't used the seam binding ribbon, and so therefore I want to keep the flow very similar to what I've been using. So I don't know. So now we know my next page is going to be red. Again, I'm like, oh, red, red, red. Oh, I already know what it is too. I believe it's the opposite side of this one. So let me check my 8x8. Oops, I have no idea where this is coming from. Okay, let me see here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. What? Yes, it's this snowman. It's, you know, it's Santa Claus, and I don't know. It's just so busy. Let me see here. I think I used this one already. I did. I like this one though. I could use this one. Maybe I might use this one and that one. I may not have a choice at this point. Yeah, that's not gonna go. That's no. That's a no. Okay, I guess it's gonna have to be the snowman. I mean, not the snowman, excuse me. I'm saying snowman. Oh my gosh, y'all don't listen to me today. I'm delirious. And my daughter laughing in the background. Okay, so this one is Bundle of Toys. And so I'm probably going to use whatever design I'm going to do for this top part is probably going to be plain, because this has already got a lot of action going on here. Oops. Let me just make sure it lines up here. Yeah. Okay. Pull that off. Okay guys, I am going to get out my next sheet. Where did they go, George? Where did they go? Where did they go? Oh my goodness. Here we go. Man, what is that racket? I feel like a total nutcase. Yeah. Okay, so we have this so far. I think at this point what I'm going to do is what I call the, it's a 4x4 square, and I have it fold out kind of like a little present, and then I'll do like a tie in the middle to make it look like a gift. I'll do like 2 ties. So let me get that going. Let me see here. I want to use probably the red for the top. I think I'm going to use the green. What do y'all think? Like this? Or
what? Friday was Friday.
no. This? No. Maybe cream? There's a cream in here. Like this one. doesn't have a design on it at all. That's kind of, I don't know. It has something that looks like wrapping paper. Or I could even do the cream color again. I haven't done black yet. I have a brown. No. Yeah, that's like way off. Okay, so I think I'm gonna need a 12 by 12 piece anyway. All right, guys, let me go look through my stash and see what I've got. I really don't have a whole lot of plain 12 by 12 paper, so I just don't. So I will be right back. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. So again, I went a little bit ahead of myself so that we could, you know, not take forever on this video. Okay, so basically, I think I left off at, we're gonna make this a 8 by 8. This does not go here, this actually goes here. Sorry about that. Okay. So I'm using the 8 by 8 paper. I distressed it. I already taped it down. And here I decided to make a little box, you know, kind of to open or whatever. So that it, you know, just to do photo mats or journaling or both. And then, now this little sticker right here came from, well, it's not exactly this particular sticker, but I got some of these like little snowflake looking stickers from the Dollar Tree, and it's called some sticker, just stickers. And anyway, I think the autocolantes or whatever, I don't know, maybe that's sticker in Spanish, I don't know. Anyway, and then I took my stickles, because it looked kind of dark and stuff, so I took the crystal stickles and I just kind of rubbed it on there to make it sparkly. And then here, I did adhere one of the big basic gray magnets here, and this is actually a piece of paper that is, it should be for, this is another piece of cardstock, regular cardstock at 4 inches, and I just cut it, and then at 3.5 inches I scored it, and then I tucked it in here where, you know, where this is going to be your like clothes pocket here, and I just taped it inside, kind of like how I did on the other page. And then I went ahead and cut this at, I believe this should be around 3 1/8 inches, but, or 3 1/4 right here. So, you know, I just kind of make sure I give it an 1/8 edging. It's really pretty simple to get your measurements. So then I did another piece, and this one, actually, this one is 3 1/4, so the other one must be 3 1/4. So there you go, there's the measurement. I put the magnet here down already. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere this for you. Well, for me. I'm so silly. I'm sorry, I'm not making any sense. We had a couple gloomy days out, and the sun is finally starting to peek out. So that's good. And I had a photo shoot earlier with my daughter. We did Dia de los Muertos. So maybe I'll try to put some photos on here in a video later, or just add it to my page. I would love to do my son's photos, but he hates doing them. He just does. He always gets frustrated with me. So then it's easy. Now it is magneted here. And this one, I haven't decided yet, but I was thinking that I was gonna do like, just like have a tag coming out. So I was gonna do the Scor-tape here, here, and here, and then at the top, and then tuck in a tag. But I forgot about the consideration of that I needed to, because I didn't use magnets on this, which I should have. Now I need to go ahead and use a bow. So therefore that kind of destroys the idea of, well, I don't know, I could do it, but I would have to glue gun it. But let me move on to, I will adhere this, but let me move on to my next page. So this will be the start of, should be now, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This should be page 8, and then 9. This one. And since we did that one in red, we're gonna do this one in green. So now I gotta figure out what I had last time for my green. And this was it. You know what I might do this time? I'm gonna do this beige color instead of green. That's what I'm gonna do. Let me look through here. And I'm gonna go ahead and use one of these. And let's see here. I don't think I did the big leaves yet. So I was trying not to use that one. Did I do the little leaves yet? So this will be here, maybe.
Creates a current into the metal. They spray a coating that adheres to the metal.
Let's see. I don't remember if I did the little green leaves yet. I don't think I did it. And I've already got a page of this one. So I don't want to repeat that. Let's see.
While Brett and Frankie keep moving on the slot machine tank, J.C. Cooper's busy on the framework for the Toyota Highlander tank. And I got Brendan and Danny working on the inside. So when you watch SpongeBob and you actually see that whole underwater scene, we're going to make this exact practice tank. You know this world doesn't exist anywhere. Yes, it does.
So it'll be like this. What do y'all think? Works for me. Okay, I was trying not to use this because I was thinking about having this as my cover. So I would need all 3 of these to do that. Or if I did the leaves, I would need, well, you know what? I think it's gonna have to be the leaves because I already used, yep. Maybe this one, the smaller leaves. It's called Jolly Old Elf. Oh, okay, so let me go ahead and put this aside for a second. Cut these edges off. And my daughter, she, I had her use the Big Kick, and she cut out a bunch of Tim Holtz Tattered Flowers for me. And then she's going to tell you in a second what she did. So I'm going to let her get on here while I work on this. And she's going to show you. All right, Mia, come on and bring them. And we have the little things too to show them how you're going to put it together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, then let me grab some.
Here, we got this one. And then the little, I'm talking about the little brads.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Just got that. Okay. So we have the tiny, tiny, tiny little brads. These are green and we have kind of like a yellow gold. This are more like Halloween colors, but I'm going to try to, I don't think we're going to use these gold ones, but we're definitely going to use some of these green ones. And then I have these little tiny ones that I got from Hobby Lobby the other day. These are, excuse the glare, copper, all sorts of different colors in here. So we're going to use those. I think we should show them one that already has some of the stuff on here.
Okay. I'll get on the green. Green.
Just go ahead and bring a whole handful of them over there. You want me to help you?
Yeah.
You can sit over there and I'll bring them over. Sorry, she's got some of these separated out here. She's been working on them. So I'm going to bring them over. So why don't you tell them the first thing that she did?
So the first thing that I did was I grabbed one of these, any one of them.
Well, you use a 6x6 paper pad.
And I did.
And then regular cardstock, like my sandstone or whatever it's called.
And I got all the papers, and I used the big kit and did it for her.
The Tim Holtz.
The Tim Holtz thing.
Tattered flowers.
The first thing I did was I separated them into groups, and then I got these two colors. There's a green and...
What do they say on them? What is it?
One is mint and one is
What's the name of it? Perfect Pearls Mists.
Perfect.
So one is mint and the other is biscotti.
And so I got a piece of paper and I grabbed one.
What color did you spray on that? On the red and the white?
For red and the white, oops, that's not white. Red and white, I put them together and then I used this and sprayed.
And then you waited for it to dry, and then what did you do?
Then I flipped them over.
And she sprayed the other side.
Sprayed again. And I did the same thing with the green.
Except that you used the other color.
So green with green, you spray it, and then when it's dry, you flip it over and spray it. My mom just wanted me to do that. So just in case if she wanted to use the back.
Do you have your pencil?
Yeah.
And you want to show them how, here, move the snow text and stuff out of the way so you can show them and make sure you can see it on screen.
Okay. So what I would do first, I'm going to pick one that I haven't already curled. I've curled all of them, but now I have to curl them the other way.
Okay. Just show them on that one how you did it.
There's two that go this way, and there are two that go the other way. So you're gonna grab your pencil or whatever, and you're gonna curl it sort of onto it, and you're gonna just rock it back and forth. And then I'm gonna do all that.
And then?
There's three.
What did you do to the centers?
In the center, you're gonna get the tip or whatever. The eraser, and you're gonna, like, on your hands,
gather your fingers together.
Gather your fingers together, and just
Push.
push.
And kind of squinch it around.
You don't want to make a hole because then it's going to be too big of a hole. So the next one's going to be this one, a like star kind of thing, and you're gonna do it inside.
So you're gonna roll it up, and the other one you roll down, and this one you're gonna roll up.
And then you're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna put it in the middle.
You gotta be a little careful with that one, right?
Yeah, because this one has a smaller middle.
Yeah.
So then it's gonna be like that.
And the next one?
The next one's gonna be one like this. And we're gonna do that one out again.
Down.
Down again. And then you're gonna do the same thing in the middle. So, do that. And then the last one are these mini,
Itty bitty ones.
and those you're gonna do up.
And really there's no rhyme or reason to what colors we're using. We're just kind of mixing it up. I'm trying to keep, you know, green and white, but in red and white, but you know, maybe mix a couple of the reds in there just to make them all a little bit different. It's not like we're trying to make them all identical, or we want to make them a little interesting. And then what are we going to do with them?
You're gonna get this thing.
And then you're going to find the small hole
You're gonna
punch.
find the small hole punch. And for this one, the small one says centimeter, and the big one says inch. And you're gonna try to get as best as you can into the middle.
If you do it offset, that's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect, because then it makes the flower look a little more realistic. So, but that one, you're probably gonna have to try to get it as close to the middle as you can, just because it's such a small little base. And the same with a tiny, tiny one.
Yeah, sometimes these things get stuck in there.
Yeah.
So once you're done with those, you're gonna,
You gotta do one small one. Yeah.
one small one. And then once you're done with that, you're gonna get this Cementex.
Is the brush over? Oh, here's the brush.
And you're going to grab